what preparations can be done with respect to financing in anticipation of a divorce? My name is Goldman. I'm the director and founder of Goldman and Associates. Our firm has a primary focus on family law issues here in Michigan, and today we're continuing our video series designed to educate and inform the public, so please subscribe to our channel. There are some level of preparation that can be done if you anticipate a divorce in the way of your finances. So first of all, you got to understand one thing. The court is going to look at the finances when the divorce is filed. They're going to say, okay, this is what stuff is worth. It won't matter if the stuff has gone up because last year it was in the dumps and now the market is robust, so now it's worth more. The court's not going to look at that. The court's going to look, okay, when we file, this is what it's worth. Every now and then, if something awful happens and there's a tremendous collapse and the value is no longer there, the court may look at it and say, okay, when we filed this 6 months ago, this is worth $1 million. Now it's only worth $800,000. And we're dividing it now, and you know we can't divide it for what it used to be worth. We've got to look at it now. But for the most part, the court is going to take as realistic a view as it can with respect to financial items, and therefore not a whole lot you can do in the way of preparation. You can do this. You can resist adding to an asset when you know that whatever you add, 50 cents is going to go to the other person. So for example, if you know that you're making a large 401k or cash balance or profit sharing contribution into the kitty, so to speak, marital assets, you may want to refrain from so doing during a year that you think you're going to get divorced. You may want to do that, because you know that contribution is just going to be split. On the other hand, if instead of $1,000 coming out of your paycheck to go to your 401k, the contribution is being made, so what's happening to the contribution? Well, it's staying in your paycheck, which means it's either going to be consumed or it's going to go into a savings account and be divided there. It might make more sense, despite what you know, to keep it going anyway, because you're going to lose it one way or another. But it's at least something to keep in mind. Another thing you might do, depending on who the person is on the other end of this divorce case, you might want to look at your lines of credit. If both parties have equal access to the lines of credit and you're worried that somebody's going to go on a spending spree because they know that after the child turns 18, we're going to get divorced, that's going to happen in 7 months, and all of a sudden you're seeing all the spending, you might want to cut down those lines of credit. What's going to happen is the court's going to look at the debt and probably divide it equally. So you've got to understand that whatever the other side's spending, you might end up paying half that bill. And while that may be for things that benefit both of you, it may be for things that only benefits one of you. And if that's what's going on, maybe you don't want to pay half that bill. On the other hand, you have to realize one thing. Shutting down your own lines of credit, that could have a credit impact. So you've got to watch out and you've got to make sure. It could be that the better tactic is to leave it in place and then bring to the court's attention that we were discussing this and he went on this big shopping spree. We were discussing this and she's been running to the casino all of a sudden, you know, and that should be put on her side of the ledger. I shouldn't have to pay for half of that. And maybe you'll get some traction with the court with respect to that, or at least it's a negotiating element. It gives some power of leverage with respect to those settlement resolution talks. But again, you're going to have to, every case is going to be fact specific. You're going to have to work this out to see what makes more sense for you. It's certainly a strategy discussion to have between you and your lawyer as you discuss how to resolve this case. If you have any questions about that, reach out and we'll be glad to help you out.